It's
This
0
one is 4/10.
because there is no whole number. So this one is 2. This one 2 point.
We're not going to use point, children.
This one
We're
is
going to
5.
use and.
It's 2.5. So if you're
2
going to
and
write
5
in
tenths.
words, then it's 2.
And in that 2.5, we're going to use 2 and 5 tenths. The one that we used yesterday. This one is just some sample, okay? Anyway, you can use 2.5, but we're going to use 2 and 5 tenths.
Examples.
That way, okay? That format.
As you can see on your screen, there are.
So if you're going to write this one in decimal, how are you going to write it? Okay, so you have 2 whole number, and then a part of it was shaded. 1 square, and some parts of it was shaded. How many shaded parts? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the squares are divided into 10 equal parts. Okay, 2 whole squares were shaded. All the parts were shaded, and the other square, the only one square, was only 3 parts were shaded. Okay, so if you're going to write this one in decimal, how are you going to write it? Or how are you going to say it in decimal, children? Anybody? Anybody? That would serve as your recitation, children. Anybody? Sophia, you want to try? Focus one. Yaya, are you here, Yaya? Yaya? Okay, there you go. Yaya's here. I check. Just a minute. 37, Yaya should be here. Okay. Huh? Okay, focus one, you want to try? If you're going to write this one. Okay, Sophia, go on.
2 and 3 tenths.
Okay. 2 and 3 tenths. 2 and 3 tenths, children. If only 1/10, okay, 1/10, okay. So if there are 3 parts, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to add s from the end, okay. So this one be 2 and 3 tenths, okay. We have Sophia. 3 tenths, children. Sophia is in here. So we're going to have 1 point. Okay, next. Let's see. We're going to move on, children.
3 squares, but they don't have the same equal parts and whole number, right?
We're going to forward it.
If you're going to write it in.
So if you're going to write it in fraction, that would be 2 and 3 tenths.
In decimal.
Okay. So if you're going to write it in decimal, that would be 2.3. We're not going to use point. We're going to use and so that would be 2 and 3 tenths. Okay. Next, we're going to move on, children, with the next example. We're just going to make it fast, this video. Okay. Now, okay. So on your screen, you have seen how many squares are there below? Children? How many squares below?
4. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so there are, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there are 4 squares. And how many squares? All the parts are shaded.
10. 10.
Okay, so there are 3 squares whose the whole parts were shaded. Okay, whole parts were shaded. And how many parts is shaded in the 4th square, children? How many?
5.
Okay, so if we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there are 5. part shaded. If you're going to write this one in fraction, how are you going to write this one in fraction, children? How are you going to write it? In fraction, 3 and 5/10. Okay, so if you're going to write this one in decimal, how are you going to say it in decimal, children? Anybody?
Sophia.
Sophia, go on.
3 and 5/10.
Okay, 3 and 5/10. Okay, 3 and 5/10, children. 3 and 5/10. Okay, so next we're going to move on with the next example. There you go. So we have here 3 circles. Okay, so 3 circles were divided into how many parts? They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 equal parts. Okay, 2 circles were shaded whole. Okay, 2 circles were shaded whole. Okay, and the other circle, the third circle, how many shaded parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 shaded parts for the third circle. So if you're going to write this one in fraction, how are you going to do it? How are you going to say it? Anybody? Okay, so Sophia and Yaya. Yaya, go on. Yaya, how are you going to say this one in fraction?
2.
2. 2 and how many?
2 and 6.
How many equal parts? 2 and 6.
6x.
Okay, 2 and 6, 10. If you're going to say that one in fraction. Okay, great job, Yaya. Next, how are you going to read this one in decimal? In decimal, children. Anybody? Sophia?
2 and 6/10.
Okay, great job. 2 and 6/10. Okay, so great job, children. Okay, now we're going to move on with the next. Okay, for the next example. Okay, so you can see this one. There are 2 squares. One is shaded, all the parts were shaded, and the other one, only some parts were shaded. Okay, so how many parts for the second one? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 shaded parts for the second square. Okay, so how are you going to say this one in fraction? How are you going to say this one in fraction, children? Anybody? Anybody? Sophia, go on.
1 and 5/10.
Okay, 1 and 5/10. Okay, great job, Sophia. So if you're going to see this one in decimal, how are you going to say it? Anybody? Okay, focus 1, go on.
1.5.
1.5 in other way. Focus 1. In other way.
1.5. 1/5/10.
1 and 5/10. 1 and 5/10. Okay. Now we're going to move on, children. We're not going to use point. Okay, we're going to use 1.1 and 5/10. Okay. Now we're going to. There you go. There you go. Okay. We're going to have some activity in here. Okay, so this one is a whole number. How are you going to say this one? For the first, this is a whole number. Sophia, go on.
1.
1. Great job. So this is a whole number. There is no fraction. There is no decimal. Okay, this is a whole number. This is a fraction. Okay, now we're going to move on with the next. Okay, so you have seen rectangle. Rectangle. They are equally divided. They are equally divided into 10 equal parts. Okay, so they are equally divided into 10 parts. Okay, so if you're going to say this one in fraction, how are you going to say it? Fraction first and then decimal, okay? Fraction and then decimal, okay? Anybody in fraction, how are you going to say this one in fraction, children?
Which one?
The second. We're in the second. In here. Anybody?
Sophia.
Okay, Sophia, you want to try?
1 and 3 10.
Okay, 1 and 3 tenths. Okay, great job. So there is, okay, so there is this difference when you are going to read this one in fraction, okay? So in fraction, you're not going to add s at the end, okay? And then at the place value, okay? So if you're going to read this one in decimal, you're going to add, for the place value, you're going to add some s if it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up, children, okay? So how about, great job, Sophia. So how about if you're going to read this one in decimal, children?
Sophia.
Is that you, Sophia?
Yeah.
Murmuring? Yeah. Just a moment. Here we go. Okay, yeah, go on. In decimal, how are you going to read this?
2 5.
2, 5? You sure? We're going to use the format that I have given you yesterday. Sophia?
Yes.
Okay. Can you? You're raising your hand. Anybody, how are you going to write this one? How are you going to read this one in decimal?
Number 3.
Number 2. We say number 2. The one that you read a while ago is in fraction, right? How are you going to read this one in decimal? Okay, go on, Sophia.
1 and 3 tenths.
Okay, 1 and 3 tenths. Great job, Sophia. Okay, next for number 3. Number 3, we have a whole number. Okay, so there are 2 rectangles equally divided into 10 parts and they are all shaded. Okay, so if you're going to read this one, how are you going to do it? Very easy. Anybody? Yeah.
2 pi.
2 point? Are you going to put some point? Or are you just going to say 2? Which is which? Yeah. Anybody? Number 3. Okay, Sophia, go on.
2.
Okay, that's 2 only. No more point. Okay, how about the fourth example, children? The fourth example. The fourth example, anybody? Sophia.
2.
2, still 2. How about the fifth example? Fifth example. Excuse me. The fifth example, children. The fifth example.
Sophia.
Okay, Sophia, go on.
2 and 8 tenths.
Okay, 2 and 8 tenths. Great job. Okay, and the last example is 3. That is a whole number, 3. Okay, so we're going to move on. Let's see if we still have another example. Now we're done. Okay, now we're done with this one. So we're going to have another more, children. Another more samples and another recitation. More recitation. Okay, so did you understand, children? Who cannot understand? Who cannot follow? Say someone who cannot follow. Yaya, you cannot follow, Yaya. You raising your hand. You cannot follow, Yaya.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay, so yesterday I have given you a chart, place value chart, right? For the decimals. You copied it on your notebook. Did you? Did you copy it on your notebook, children? Did you copy in your notebook? Place value of decimal. Okay, just a moment. I will just going to show you decimal numbers. Just a moment, children, okay? We need to use some PowerPoint. Aside from Yaya, anybody else who cannot understand our lesson? Aside from Yaya, be honest, children, so that we know.
ใครไม่เข้าใจยกมือที่ช่วยบอกให้พูดความจริงนะ
Only Yaya? You sure, children? How about you, Kahom? Did you understand? Mini? Because Mini and Kahom just come late yesterday. They came late.
Mini
Did you
is understand.
Okay, you understand. Okay, great. If you're going to have a recitation, can you follow? Because we're going to have a recitation one by one. I'm going to call you one after the other, children. Go. Okay, great. Okay, so just a moment. I will just going to share you my PowerPoint. Here we go. Okay, so yesterday, I have told you that if we're going to read decimal, okay, so we're going to start from the left, okay, starting from this one point, okay, so we're not going to say this one as another format. We're going to say n, okay, and we're going to have this, the first digit would be the tens, second digit hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, in millions. Okay, so children, if we're going to read decimal numbers, we're going to start from the left going to the right. Not same as the whole numbers. We're going to start from the right going to the left. Okay, for whole numbers, we're going to have ones in here from the right, and then tens going to the left. Okay, so there is a difference between whole number and decimal. Okay, so we have here 2,536, and then we have the decimal point, and then 254. Okay, so if you're going to read this one in decimal, okay, how are you going to read it, children. Okay, so for the whole numbers, do not use end, children, because end means point, decimal point. Okay, so if you're going to read this one in decimal, how are you going to do it? Anybody? Anybody who want to try? Sophia, you want to try? Okay, so I'm just going to put some examples. Okay, a more easier example. So we have here 2. Okay, so how are you going to read this one in decimal? How are you going to read this one in decimal, children?
2 and 2/10.
Just a moment, please. I have to make it big so that you can see it. Okay, so this one is a whole number, so we're going to have these 2. If you're going to write this one in decimal, we're going to have 2, and that and it stands for the point. Okay, and 2 white tens, children. 2 tens, because this one it stands for 2. It stands for the place value of 2 is in the tens place. Okay, so we're going to put some tens here. Okay, next we're going to have ting ting ting. Okay, how about this one? 4 and then the decimal point and then 5 6. How are you going to say it in decimal?
4 and 5600.
Okay, so 56 hundreds. Okay, why hundreds, children? Why hundreds? Because
6 is
Fifth-
in
the
the
6,
hundred
yeah.
column.
The sixth place value is in the hundreds place. Okay, so we're going to have 56 hundreds. Can you follow? Can you follow, children? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you follow?
Yes.
Yes, that's good. Okay, anybody else who cannot follow? Kindly raise your hand so that we know. Anybody else who cannot follow? Josh, can you follow? Josh, where are you going? Okay, next we're going to have another more. We're going to have 19, this one. Okay, so how are you going to say this one in decimal? Josh, could you please, what are you doing, Josh? Oh, Josh is on the motorcycle. He's riding a motorcycle. Okay, so how are you going to say this one in decimal? Anybody? Anybody? Sophia, go on.
19 and 673,000.
673 73,000. Okay, thousands. Why thousands, children? Because
3 in the
okay, 3 is in the thousands place value. Okay, can you follow? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Who cannot follow? Everybody, you can follow, right? Now we're going to have your, okay, so yesterday I have told you that you're going to use your notebook in our activity. But now we're going to do your plan. We're going to do your worksheet that supposedly you're going to do yesterday. Okay, but we use your notebook. Now we're going to have your worksheet, children. Okay, so just a moment. I will just going to send to you the link and then you answer. Okay, after you answering, you take a photo and together with your score, of course, and send it in our group in line. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so this one is your activity. Just a moment for those who are waiting in our group in line. Moment, please. subunit. Where is our MEP? Paste. Okay, there you go. Okay, you do it now, children. If you have any problem, just tell me. Then later on, we're going to have your activity on your book.
Teacher,
Yes.
do we need to put THS?
Let me see. Of course.
Or just 100?
In here, in the first, in the
Yes.
activity number 1, of course.
Put THS, right?
Yes,
Sophia.
100. Because this one is in decimal. You're not going to use you're not going to write TH if it's in the whole number. Whole number, of course. There is a difference. You see the place value that I let you copy it yesterday.
เซลฟี่อ่ะ
อะไร
เราไม่เห็นลิงก์ที่เชอร์อ่ะเราเห็นแต่ข้อความเธออ่ะ
ส่งไปในไลน์อ่ะที่ชื่อส่งไป
ใช่
ใน
ไง
ไลน์
เราเห็นแต่ไออีโมจิเธออะ
โอ้ Teacher,
Yes.
can you send it online one more time, please?
Okay, sure. No problem. You can see emoji only. Sophie, oh, not in line. I'm so sorry. It's in line. Okay, just a moment. There you go. Goodbye. Any problem, children? Okay, so that's why you're a little bit confused, because in your book, if you're going to use your book, you're going to use the other format, which is 0.4. Okay, so we're just going to get the 2 format. Okay, the decimal point. Okay. And for the other one, using n for the decimal point. Okay, can you follow? Decimals in 0.4 or 0 and 4 tenths. Okay, so there are 2 ways of how we're going to read. We're going to take the easier way, which is using point, like 0.33. Okay, so children, in your book, we're going to answer in different format. Okay, but in this one, for your For your live worksheet, we're going to use the one that I have teach you, okay? Just a moment, just a moment.
Teacher,
Yes.
the last one, do we need to write and or point?
Let me see. Let me see. Just a moment. Let me see. Just a moment. Just a moment, Sophie. What did you use in it? Oh, a moment, please. I have to check first.
Okay.
Oh. No. I think we need to complete. Just a moment. Let me see. No. You use and?
We use and, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I just write point. Just a moment. 1.36. Let me see. 0. Let me see first. Just a moment. I just want to make sure. 18.8. 0.43. Oh, that's the point. Finish?
Teacher,
Yes.
it's and why?
Because you see this one. For that's number 2, you have seen 16 thousands, right? 8 tens, and then 134 hundreds, and then 4 and 18 hundreds. They use and, they didn't use zero, right? They didn't use point, right? And then 16 and 25 thousands. Can you follow? For number 2, they use and, they didn't use point, right? I can answer it. Let me see. What the heck? Finish? Children?
No.
No.
Nearly finished.
Let me finish. Let me see your scores then. This one is over 10. Okay, since children, for your book, we're not going to have this one as your homework. We're going to answer this one for the next meeting, because we're going to use the other way, which is using point, the other format for reading Decima. Okay, not this one, not the format that I have taught you today. We're going to have the other format. Okay, that's why we're going to have this one on your next meeting.
Teacher, may I go to the toilet, please?
Okay, sure. Go. Finish, children. one is one is passing the worksheet yet. No, Mini not yet. Is it hard for you? Have you seen your answer? Have you seen your worksheets? Have you seen your scores? I'm sorry, should be your scores. Have you seen your scores, children? Is it hard for you? Hard, my? Or easy? Anybody? Tell me now. Do you want to change it? Okay, Tilek got 7/10. Okay, you pass it in our group in line, children. Our group in line. If you are finished, take a screenshot of your score together with your class number, and then you send it in our group in line. Tilek, okay? Tilek, do you understand, Tilek? Children, it's already time. Okay, so listen, children. For those who are not yet finished, I will be waiting for your scores in our group in line. Did you understand? Sophia, are you back? Focus 1, are you finished?
No.
No. Tilek just passed his score a while ago. He said 7/10. Okay, so children, did you find it hard? Is it hard? Hard, my?
A little bit.
A little bit, but it's okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so children, if you are not yet finished, I will be waiting for your scores in our group in line. You take a screenshot, okay? So that's all for today. Get ready for your next subject. Goodbye, everybody. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. See you again tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I know I need to be loved. I know